Here, welcome everyone. In the previous class, we have seen the different that is transverse section of anther. That is, anther will be consisting of the anther wall consists of 4 layers. This is the bilobed anther, which consists of 4 layers. This is the first one. This is the second one. That is first one, epithelial cell, which is made up of flat single layer of flat cells. The function of epithelium is to give protection. Then we have seen this middle, that is second layer, which is made up of radial cells, which are very compactly arranged. They have callose thickenings, so which makes this whole structure, this one, it fibrous, unbreakable structure. Then we have this third layer, that is the middle layer. It consists of 3 to 4 rows of parenchymatous cells. This is the first, second, third. So 3 to 4 layers of parenchymatous cells. This together whole makes the middle layer. Then we have this fourth layer, which is pyramidal shaped cells will be present, single layer of pyramidal cells, which constitutes the fourth layer, which is called as the tapetum. The cells are called as the tapetal cells. The tapetal cells, the function of all these three are, it helps in the dehiscence of anther, whereas this tapetum, it is a nutritive tissue. Tapetum is a nutritive tissue, or the tapetal cells are nutritive cells. They have thick cytoplasm and many nucleus. So tapetal cells are pyramidal shape, multinucleated, densely with dense cytoplasm. Okay, so with the help of this dense cytoplasm, this then nutrition will be provided to these sporogenous cells, because inside this sac-like structures, that is, this is the microsporangia. This is the microsporangia. So inside the microsporangia, we have cells which are compactly arranged. We have cells which are compactly arranged. So like the cells will be present in this also, like this at the same. If this time here we have the cells, it will be present in this also, it will be present in this also, it will be present in this also. So here the cells will be compactly arranged, or cells will be present inside this microsporangium. So these cells are called as sporogenous cells. The cells are called as sporogenous cells. The cells are called as sporogenous cells. So when the anther is young, the sac-like structures will also be small, and that is why the cells will be very compactly arranged. But as the anther matures, so what happens is the sacs will become a little bigger. The sac will become a little bigger. The sac will become a little bigger. So when the sac becomes bigger, the space will be more. When the sac becomes bigger, there will be more space. Okay, because of the space, now the cells with less space, that is, this pollen, the microsporangium was very small, so that is why less space was there, and because of this less space, all the cells were very compactly arranged without any spaces. This very compactly arranged. Now because of the increase in the size of the sac, because of the increase in the size of the microsporangium, there is more space inside it. The space is more inside it. Because of the more space, now the space is more. The cells are not very compactly arranged. Because of the space, the cells have become loose. I'll write here, the cells have become loose. Because of the increase in the size of the microsporangium, the space has increased, and because of that increase in space, the cells which were compactly arranged are now a little loose. So these are also sporogenous cells, these are also sporogenous cells only, but they are compactly arranged, these are loosely arranged. Why this difference in the arrangement? Because of the pollen, the microsporangium has grown in size. Anther is starting to mature slowly, and because of that the size of the microsporangium has increased, which led to the loosening of the thickly that is compactly arranged cells. So all of them are sporogenous cells. They are also called as archegonial cells or archegonial cells. Sporogenous cells are or archegonious cells. All of them, all of the sporogenous cells, they are capable of producing microspores. They are capable of producing microspores. All of them. All the cells are able to produce microspores, but all of them will not produce. I am not saying that few are capable of producing. All the cells, with whatever the number, if the number is 15 means all the 15 cells, it will be much more than that, but for your convenience, if we have 15 sporogenous cells in this microsporangium, then all 15 cells are capable to produce microspores. All of them are capable to produce the microspores. Okay, so now when they are capable to produce microspores, but all of them will not be preparing. Only few will give rise to microspores. Out of all, only few cells. That is, all are capable, but only few sporogenous cells will form microspores. So out of that, for example, 15 cells were capable of making microspores, producing microspores. So out of that 15, 10 are producing microspores. 10 are producing microspores. That is the leftover 5, they will degenerate and help in the process. Rest 5 will degenerate and they help in other process. But what happens is, out of that one, so now I'll just, these ones all are capable, but few will degenerate. And the rest will produce the microspores. Now coming to this, the cells which are producing microspores, they are called as, now these red ones, the blue ones are degenerated. These cells, the blue color cells are degenerated. Okay, and the red cells, they will be producing microspores. And these red color cells, for your convenience, there in this, actually the red and blue color will not be there. For your convenience, for your understanding, I am telling you this, the blue ones will degenerate. They are capable, but they won't produce microspores. They will degenerate and help in other process. But these red cells, they will be producing microspores, and these red cells are called as microspore mother cells. They are called microspore mother cells. The ones who will be producing this microspores, they are called as microspore mother cells. Okay, out of all the sporogenous cells, the ones which will be producing microspores, they are called as microspore mother cells, and the rest other cells, they will degenerate. Okay, now out of all this, I am removing these blue color ones. Okay, they have degenerated. These blue color ones have been degenerated. Okay, leaving behind this few ones. We'll remove this degenerated. Okay, now these cells will be producing microspores. Okay, and they are called as microspore mother cells. Okay, this is one microspore mother cell, this is one microspore mother cell, this is one microspore mother cells. So the cells which will be producing microspores, they are called as microspore mother cells. So out of that many will be performing that process. Many will be performing that process, but I am taking one. So I have taken this cell, okay, this cell. So this is microspore mother cell. This is nothing but microspore mother cell, MMC, that is nothing but microspore mother cell. Okay, this microspore mother cell, it will undergo meiotic division. This microspore mother cell, it will undergo meiotic division, that is this cells undergoes meiosis, and we all know when a cell undergoes meiosis, it produces 4 daughter cells. How many daughter cells? It produces 4 daughter cells. So what? This is one cell, one microspore mother cell. When this undergoes meiosis, it will produce 4 microspore mother cells. This is called as microspore tetrad. Why microspore tetrad? Means all the cells, all the 4 cells will be joined together. All the cells are together. They are not separate. They are not separate. So here this microspore mother cell has undergone meiotic division and has produced a microspore tetrad. Tetrad means 4. So it has produced 4 cell. The single cell has produced 4 cell. These 4 cells are not separate, they are joined together. Okay, if this is, for example, this is the 4 cell. One cell has given rise to 4 daughter cells. 4 of them are separate, but in case of this one, after the division, 4 of them will be joined together. So this 4 joined together cells, they are called as tetrad. What it is called as? Tetrad. So this is microspore tetrad. Microspore tetrad can be found in different shapes. So here, if this is the one, this is the first cell, 4 na, 1, 2, 3 and 1 will be at the back. 4 cells, they are arranged like this. If the arrangement of the cells is like this, 1, 2, 3 and 1 back, so this is the tetrahedral arrangement. This arrangement is called as tetrahedral. It can, when it undergoes 4 cells, it makes 4 cells now, or it can be like this one, 1 cell, 2 cell, 3 cell, 4 cell. So this is called as isobilateral arrangement. Isobilateral arrangement. So this is one tetrad in which the arrangement is tetrahedral, or this is one tetrad in which the arrangement is isobilateral, and this is one tetrad, 1, 2, 3, 4. The arrangement is linear. Here the arrangement is linear, and we have this one, 1, 2, 3 and 4. This type of arrangement is called as decussate arrangement. So it can form, that is microspore tetrad is formed, but it can be of any type. It can be tetrahedral, it can be isobilateral. When this undergoes meiosis, it can produce tetrad. Tetrad can be like this, or a tetrad can be like this, or a tetrad can be linear, or a tetrad can be decussate. It depends, but the most common one which we see is tetrahedral. The most common one which we see is tetrahedral. Okay, so this microspore mother cell undergoes meiosis. Microspore mother cell undergoes meiosis and produces a tetrad. It will be joined together. It will be joined together at the starting, and after some time, this all 4 cells will be growing apart. They will be separated. All 4 cells will be separated. When it is divided by meiosis, when it produces 4 cell, it was a tetrad, all 4 cells together. But after some time, what happens? All the 4 cells will separate. All the 4 cells will separate. Now these are called as microspores. These are called as microspores. Sporogenous cells, they have undergone meiosis. This will undergo meiosis and produce a tetrad. This will undergo meiosis and produce a tetrad. This will undergo meiosis and produces a tetrad. This will undergo meiosis and produces a tetrad. So here they will be producing. So these 4 mother cells, they will undergo meiosis and they produce tetrad. Okay. They produce tetrad. Later on this tetrad gets separated and here it will produce 4 spores. It will produce 4 spores. It will produce 4 spores. It will produce 4 spores, and these are called as microspores. It is not that it is happening first stage is happening here, second stage is happening here. No, all the stages are happening simultaneously in all these 4 ones. Just for your understanding, I am drawing this. Here this sporogenous tissue becomes bigger, okay. Few cells will degenerate, few cells will become microspore mother cells, they undergo meiosis and they produce microspores. So this is seen in this also, this also, this also, this also. All 4 microsporangia, they perform this process. All 4 microsporangia, all of them they perform this process. They produce microspores. Okay. So here also, now they are separated. These are called as microspores. These are called as microspores. Now microspores will again change into pollen grains. Further, microspores will change into pollen grains. How they will be changing into pollen grains? Here what happens is, around this microspore, this is the actual plasma membrane of this microspore. Here one layer, I will draw it with this, 2 layers are surrounding this microspore. 2 layers will be surrounding this microspore. This is the one which is the inner layer. This inner layer is called as intine. Inner layer is called as intine. And surrounding that intine, one more layer is present which is not continuous. One more layer is present which is broken at regular intervals. Okay. So this is the second layer. This is called as exine. Intine and exine. Another layer, this pollen spore microspores will be surrounded by 2 layers. The inner layer is called as intine and the outer layer is called as the exine. Now with this intine and exine, this whole structure, this microspore has changed into pollen grains. What it has changed into? It has changed into pollen grain. So this is the structure, this is the actual structure of pollen grain. So inside this is the plasma, the black one, this is the plasma membrane of the microspore. Then around the plasma membrane, one red color membrane is there which is inside. This red color membrane is called as intine, and surrounding this red color membrane, surrounding this intine, one more layer is present which is called as exine, Okay. So this pollen microspore with these 2 layers, intine and exine, this together is called a pollen grain. This is called a pollen grain. So like this, many pollen grains will be formed. So this is one, this is the microspore, this is the microspore, separated microspores. Now around this microspore, one layer is present which is intine and another layer is present which is exine. Okay, another layer is present which is exine. Now this structure is pollen grain, and the sac are called as pollen sacs. Okay. Earlier this was called as microsporangium. Now after this development, after the formation of this pollen grains, now this structure is called as pollen sac. Okay. When the anther was young, this structure was called as microsporangia. Now the anther has matured, it has produced the pollen grain. Now this structure is called as pollen sac. What do you call the structure as? This structure is called as pollen sacs, and inside this pollen sacs we have this pollen grain. Inside the pollen sac we have the pollen grains. So this is one pollen sac, this is another pollen sac, this is another pollen sac, this is another pollen sac. 4 pollen sacs will be present. When the anther is young, pollen sacs are called as microsporangium, and when anthers are matured, this microsporangium are called as pollen sacs. Okay, inside the pollen sacs, that is pollen grain will be present. This pollen grain is called as the male gametophyte. This is the pollen grain. This is called as, this pollen grain is the male gametophyte. Male gametophyte. Male gametophyte in the sense, gametophyte is the structure which helps in the formation of gametes. So, pollen grain is the male gametophyte, that is the structure which helps in the formation of male gametes. So, who will form male gametes? Which structure forms male gamete? Pollen grain is the structure which forms male gamete. How male gametes are formed, we will see in the next video, continuation of this. Now, this whole process where the sporogenous cells has changed into microspore mother cells. These microspore mother cells has undergone meiosis and produced tetrads. Okay, these tetrads after some time they separated and they are called as microspores. They are called as microspores. Now microspores has grown 2 extra layers around it. Microspores has grown 2 extra layers around it. The inside layer is intine and outside layer is exine. So microspore with these 2 layers, that is intine and exine, is called as pollen grain. Till now we have seen. Now how pollen grain produces male gametes, we will see in the next video.